Got our ticket! Welcome back to our Japan road trip. We're leaving Ishikawa Prefecture now and heading up the Sea of Japan coast to the Tohoku region. In my last video, we moved out of our apartment and hiked Mount Hakusan. We actually started this drive immediately after that, so this video is about going up the coast and our first days in both Akita and Aomori prefectures. On the road! We spent a night in Niigata, but unfortunately we didn't have any time to see anything outside the hotel. Rise and shine, it says. This window warning made us laugh, though. Please do not open the window, otherwise a large amount of insects will enter the room. Back on the toll roads. Okay, we're going from Niigata to Akita Prefecture today. The drive up the coast from Niigata was really pretty, and took about 4.5 hours. We stopped on the way at some roadside stations to break up the drive, collect stamps, and get food. That looks good. We saw some early Tanabata decorations along the way, but in the next video, we got to see Japan's biggest Tanabata celebrations in Sendai. Finally, we reached Akita Prefecture and stopped at Akita City's port, the port tower Selion. Here's where we are now, and here's where the campsite is. There were lots of fun souvenirs and omiyage here, including plenty of Akita dogs, since this is where that dog breed comes from. Look at his little sailor outfit. Akita Prefecture is also known for its Babahera Ice Cream, a banana and strawberry flavored treat that's scooped into the shape of a rose. As we drove along the coastline near the campground, we saw more and more wind turbines. The weather in Akita can be harsh, but they take advantage of nature's power. Finally, we pulled into Minaminoike Campground, on the base of the Oga Peninsula in Akita Prefecture. This campsite is great, and it's free. So we're gonna put our tent up right here, and then there are bathrooms here, so this is very nice. We have so many things crammed in our little K-car, but before we could go on our bike ride, we wanted to set up our campsite. Something interesting about this area is that it's located on reclaimed land in what used to be Japan's second largest lake. In 1963, the lake began to be drained so that it could be used for farmland to support Ogata Village and Oga City. On September 15, 1964, a dry land ceremony was held here, and this park, Minaminoike, which means South Pond, was built in 1976 to celebrate the completion of the Hachiro Lagoon land reclamation. Ta-da! Yeah, Zeb found this campsite on Google. He's so clever.
I did a good job.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks.
Okay, we're gonna do like a really short ride because our legs feel like death from hiking Hakusan yesterday. So maybe like a very chill hour spin will just flush out the system. This funky little statue is actually one of the dredger type machinery that they use to scoop out this area and make this whole reclaimed land. What used to be the second largest lake in Japan, and now we're standing on it. We went on a short spin through the rice fields surrounding the campground and made our way over to a unique monument. Out here you can ride to the exact point where the latitude and longitude lines 40 degrees north and 140 degrees east intersect. Out in these rice fields, it's the latitude-longitude line. Not terribly thrilling, I guess, but kind of a neat geographic location. The only place in Japan. Other cities on the 40th parallel north latitude include New York, Beijing, Athens, and Madrid. There are less cities on the 140-degree longitude line, but it runs through parts of Russia and Australia. We saw Hakusan yesterday. We're seeing Fuji today. Another unique monument we rode to was this 1/1000th scale Mount Fuji replica. The best part is that since all of this is reclaimed land, the summit of this mini Mount Fuji is actually 0 meters. It peaks right at sea level.
It's Mount Fuji.
There it is. There's a lot of funny little monuments out here.
Yeah.
We made it back to the campsite as the sun was going down.
On the back, this is
Time to eat a pre-dinner mystery snack we had picked up at the convenience store because it looked pretty. A little mystery package.
It's probably gonna be like pork bun or something. Just sitting out on the shelf.
Probably beans.
I think it's gonna be beans.
Break it in half. Oh, you're just gonna bite it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just gonna go right
What if
in.
it's pork? Beans. Turns out it was filled with sweet beans. Always a good guess. And tasted as good as it looked. It's very pretty. We had a not very fancy convenience store dinner since a Lawson was just around the corner. There were also a lot of mosquitoes, but otherwise it was a great and free place to camp. The sun rises really early in the summer in Japan, and so did we in order to beat the heat and not melt on our bike rides. Good morning. It's about 4:30, and today we are going to go around this little peninsula. We were riding around the Oga Peninsula, which was 55 miles or 88 kilometers to follow the coastline, see Cape Nudo, and get back to the campground. My route is linked below as usual. It started out super flat as we left the reclaimed land around Ogata and started on the Oga Peninsula. You'll see a lot of demon drawings and statues around Oga, which are for the Namahage, a folklore demon-like creature that will come out on New Year's Eve to scare children into studying hard and listening to their parents. During this unique tradition, Namahage actually visit houses on New Year's Eve, dressed in wooden masks and straw outfits. They're also believed to chase away bad luck with their loud voices and noise, so everyone can start the new year fresh. Here's an example of a Namahage in statue form. Apparently this road wasn't open until the 70s, and it was used by the Japan Self-Defense Force until it was opened as a toll road. Now anybody can be on it. Though it got much hillier as we circled the peninsula, it also got more scenic, and the rocky coastal views reminded me a lot of the Noto Peninsula, near where we lived in Ishikawa Prefecture. There's an aquarium out here too. We saw the Nudozaki Lighthouse here on Cape Nudo, one of 16 lighthouses in Japan that are open to the public. We didn't go inside, but instead admired it from here and rang the bell before continuing our ride. Came from over here, we rode around, and now we're here. Now we're gonna go back over here. It flattened out again as we returned inland and made our way back to the campground. We had a big drive ahead of us though, since we were leaving Akita Prefecture and driving up to Aomori, the northernmost prefecture on Honshu. We packed up quickly and had to try one of the famous Babahera ice creams before leaving Akita. This is like the regional specialty ice cream. I didn't really get the name at first, but Baba is a nickname for old ladies in Japan, and Hera is a spatula. It smells like bubblegum. This ice cream is typically served from a cart as street food by elderly ladies who use a spatula to shape the ice cream into a rose. The flavor is like strawberry and banana.
Like the banana twin popsicles used to get, you'd break them in half.
But I think the pretty colors and rose shape is what makes it so well known.
It's okay.
We were back on the toll roads again and heading north. Your ticket in there.
Well, yeah, but what are all these bells and everything like hanging off the boat?
Only 300 yen. The first stop was Hirosaki, to see one of Japan's 12 original castles that are still standing. Hirosaki Castle is one of only 12 Japanese castles left with its tenshu, or main keep, still intact and not rebuilt in modern times. It was completed in 1811, so it's not one of the oldest remaining, but it's still cool to see. It's surrounded by a huge garden, which happens to be one of Japan's most famous cherry blossom spots if you're visiting in the spring. This east gate is from the early 1600s, so it's even older. We paid 320 yen each to enter, just a couple dollars. I know castles are supposed to be mighty and intimidating, but I think this one is so cute. I like painting with watercolor, and Zeb gave me the idea to paint all 12 original castles as cats, or Cat-sles. So I brought one of my prints with me to take a photo of the painting with the real thing. So these are the 12 original castles as cats, and this one's Hirosaki as a Cat-sle, and there's Hirosaki as a castle. You can see this in more detail if you want, and my other paintings and stickers online at thebluebike.art. We were able to go inside the castle keep, which has a great view of Aomori's famous Mount Iwaki. On a clear day, you can see the snowy peak. If you're collecting stamps in Japan, you can get a couple good ones here at the castle too. Oh, look at that. There he is. After our castle sightseeing break, we hopped back in the car and continued our drive north through Aomori Prefecture and up to the small city of Mutsu. The toll roads got cheaper as we drove farther from central Japan. Mutsu is a bit remote up here on the Shimokita Peninsula, but we wanted to visit mainly to see the Osorezan Bodaiji Temple, which we would be biking up to tomorrow. We arrived here to a pretty sunset. Over 2 years in Japan and we still hadn't eaten at a Moss Burger yet, so since one was walking distance from our hotel, we figured it would be the perfect dinner.
It's our first Moss Burger. Ever.
Can you believe it? It was really nice that they had veggie burgers, and the sampler box was bigger than expected. It's like the American size here.
Yeah.
These onion rings are so good. Yeah. We're leaving our hotel room, and we're gonna go on a ride around Mutsu. There's a mountain behind the cloud there, and we're going to the top. Hopefully the cloud's clear by the time we get up there. This is Zeb's reaction to me thinking the clouds at the top would be clear. I guess we'll see. We were biking up to Osorezan, literally Fear Mountain, where some Buddhists believe the gateway to hell is located. Another day, another digging things out of this car. Yeah, the gateway to hell is up here. We started by climbing up the road to Mount Kamabuse, the highest point on the Shimokita Peninsula. Though we were pretty far north, it was still a humid August day in Japan, so I was relieved to see this cool spring on road number 4, leading up to the mountains. Even though we're in the north of Tohoku, it is still very hot and humid. That spring feels so nice and refreshing. Before going to Osorezan, we turned left off Road 4 to get to the Kamabuse Observatory. The sign says Kamabuse Panorama Line. I think on a typical day this would be a beautiful ride. However, Zeb was right, the clouds hadn't moved. My GoPro was glitching here, but there was a ton of monkeys along this road. Very unbothered by my presence. Oh, baby monkey. Nice thing about this climb, it's overcast so the sun's not out. Bad thing about this climb, a lot of biting flies. Finally we reached the observatory. It was a nice climb, but unfortunately no view because of the clouds. This view of Mutsu Bay is what we would usually be able to see. Bummer. That's 2 summits in the mist.
I know.
Oh well. As we descended, it started to rain. Just a little at first, so I thought maybe it would blow over so we could see down to the view. But then it got harder, until it was just a full downpour. It was comical how quickly it happened. We still wanted to see Osorezan though. Wow. Yeah.
No, we're supposed to go left here.
Yeah.
That's where the lake is.
Yeah, I still want to see it.
Yeah.
Luckily, just as quickly as the rain appeared, it cleared once we emerged at Lake Usori. The first thing I noticed was the sulfuric smell because of the rich volcanic activity here, which also causes the vibrant teal color of the lake. This bridge is like the entrance to the afterlife, crossing the river Sanzu-no-kawa, sometimes compared to the river Styx in Greek mythology. Mount Osorezan is known as one of Japan's 3 most sacred places, along with Koyasan in Wakayama and Hiezan in Kyoto. This is because its geography resembles the world of Buddha's hell and paradise, with 8 surrounding peaks, symbolic of the 8 petals of a lotus flower. The volcanic landscape was barren and Mars-like, and the grounds did have a very quiet and solemn feel. Bodaiji Temple was founded here in the year 862 by the Buddhist monk Inen. We paid for an entry ticket to the temple grounds, which also grants you an entrance to the onsen baths inside. We spoke to a very friendly monk who told us about how he enjoyed cycling too, and was very welcoming. He encouraged us to enjoy the baths, and very kindly mentioned that the entry ticket was good for the full day if we wanted to come back to the baths again in the evening after our ride. In addition to the naturally flowing hot spring water, you'll also see lots of Jizo statues, and even pinwheels around the temple. Jizo are the guardians of children and the bodhisattva of hell. They protect and help lost spirits get to the afterlife. And some of these are the spirits of babies or children who died before their parents. The Jizo help guide and protect them. These are the women's baths, but no one else was in them. I didn't get in the baths, but the warm water was really inviting. Zeb actually did get in the men's bath and said it was really relaxing. It's really nice. It smells like cedar and sulfur in here. It feels so good. This is super old style though because there's nowhere to actually shower before you get into the bath. There was a second bath for women in this other building, which no one was in either. You can stay here overnight as well, if you're interested in spending more time at the temple. Sulfur corrodes metal, and you can see how intense the sulfur content of the water is here, by how corroded the coin offerings were. Every year, Bodaiji also hosts their main festival from July 20th to 24th, where people can communicate with lost loved ones through spiritual mediums known as itako. Itako are blind women who have gone through extensive training and purification rituals to communicate with the dead. However, their profession is becoming more rare, since only around 20 itako are still alive and practicing. You can walk around the volcanic grounds, which is a really unique landscape. There are even volcanic steam vents that are still pretty active. Look at the coins. On a less rainy day, or with better walking shoes, we would have gone down to the beaches of the lake and continued walking there. It's a really peaceful and sacred place, and I'm really grateful that we were able to see it. From here we got back on our bikes and headed down to Mutsu to get into some dry clothes and rest up before our next stop on the road trip. I wanted to shout out my channel members, Kinuk and Supa Mucho. Thanks so much for the additional support, and thanks to you for watching this video. In the next one, we'll finish up our time in the Tohoku region with the famous Aomori Nabuda Festival and Sendai's Tanabata celebration, plus a bike ride in Ibaraki Prefecture. Thanks for coming with us!